Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first day of class. Today is Tuesday, August 29th. These weekly class times I will hold every Monday at 11:30 a.m. Central Time if you ever want to join in. For these first 2 weeks, we're going to meet on Tuesdays because today we start class on Tuesday the semester, and then next week is Labor Day. So we'll still meet next Tuesday at 11:30 a.m. for this physical science semester 1 course. It's great to have you here. I'm going to use these live class times kind of as a breakdown of the work that you'll be doing for that week's module, just so that we're all on the same page on what you need to complete for that week. This will be really similar to my welcome video if you've seen that, but let's just take you through a little bit of the course and I'll walk us through that together. So it's great to have you here. Like usual, if you have any questions, feel free to email me at any time. So this course is a physical science course. One semester, we'll have the second semester in January starting. And this is a course that I'm developing. So you'll notice that there's a really organized layout for it, but you just have kind of week by week the module material and information. So I'm kind of going week by week as I develop this. So thanks for your patience. If you go to the announcement section, this is where I will post a weekly announcement, so be sure to watch for that. You can join our live Zoom class time, or you can go to our physical science YouTube playlist page. And I'm just going to open that up now. I'm going to copy the link using these 3 dots and then open it in a new window, and you'll get to our physical science YouTube channel page, where at the moment is just a welcome video. And soon I will post this live recording there. So on our physical science kind of YouTube channel page, you'll find these weekly live classes that I will record for our class to use. So that is a little bit on those weekly assignments and announcements. Be sure to take a look at that every week. Let's go back and just go through kind of general course information. I hold an office hours on Thursdays at 12 p.m. Central Time. I hold this for all of my classes, so there might be other students there. If you ever want to meet kind of one-on-one with me, feel free to send me a text or an email, and I'll be happy to meet with you one-on-one as well via Zoom. I am in South America right now, but this is a Google Voice number, so you can text or call this, and it would be the same as if you were texting or calling a United States number, so there wouldn't be any extra charges. The welcome activity discussion, it looks like a couple of you have already answered this. This is just for us to get to know each other a little bit. So feel free to kind of post a little introduction, who you are, where you're from, where do you see yourself in the future, and then your favorite Bible verse. And you can watch that welcome video to learn a little bit more about me. But a short, quick version is that I currently live in Quito, Ecuador, where my husband, Matt, is a missionary with the Wisconsin Synod. We love living here. I teach online for several institutions, and we have 4 young children as shown there. So feel free to post your own introduction and respond to our classmates, and we can build a community and get to know each other a little bit, even though we're online. And then here's a general questions forum that you can post to that. If you guys have any general questions, feel free to post there. Just keep in mind that everyone will be able to see that. General course information. Here you can take this, watch this first welcome and look around. You can click on my welcome video. Here's a link to our weekly Monday class calls, keeping in mind that the first 2 weeks we're going to meet on Tuesday at 11:30 because of holidays and how we start. The course syllabus is linked here. This is on the Amazing Grace Virtual Academy kind of Google Share site. So you can take a look at that course syllabus. You can see the topics that we'll be getting through in semester 1 and then semester 2. I'm currently developing labs and activities. So I'm just going to kind of go on a week by week basis as I look for online simulations for some of these laboratory activities. Here's the curriculum guide and assignment schedule. And this is great to look at because it takes you through kind of the curriculum map for the entire semester. So how I set up this course is that each module is a week in our semester, and you'll see the dates for that module correspond to a week that always starts on a Monday morning, or Tuesday in this case, because we're starting today, and ends on a Sunday at midnight. So within this week's module, this is all the material we'll get through, the lessons in the textbook we'll read, and all the assignments you need to complete for that week's module. So for this first week, which is the only one I have ready for you right away, we're just getting through lesson 1.1. So you can read the sections in that chapter 1 in your textbook. You'll work through the Unit 1 interactive notebook guide during the week. That is something you work through on your own, and I'll show you what that looks like. You don't have to submit anything for that. That's kind of your work on your own. What you do need to submit are these notes, which are kind of like homework question problems. You can print them out and take a picture of them and submit a picture, or you can complete them in a Word document and upload a file for submission. We will have a weekly discussion, which will be a question that I ask you, and then you need to respond to the question by Wednesday, and then you need to respond by 2 classmates by Sunday at midnight. There will always be some sort of activity or lab to complete every week, and then there will be some review questions to complete on BlueKit, I need to double check to make sure that these links work for the BlueKit. The review questions on BlueKit are not graded. They're just extra questions for you to review on your own time, but they will be helpful as you prepare for different quizzes and lessons. And then there's a very simple quiz for this first week, just to get you used to using Moodle to see what it looks like, and you'll see that quiz also. So this takes you through, the assignments and activities for each week's module. And again, every module begins on a Monday morning and ends on a Sunday at midnight. So you can start to get into your head, all of your assignments will be due Sunday at midnight for that week, except for your weekly discussions. I want you to answer the weekly discussion question by Wednesday every week. And I'll go through that. And I promise you in a couple weeks, this will become really second nature and make a lot of sense. Here's the discussion rubric. So this is how I will grade your discussion posts. I'm a really easy grader as long as you follow these really simple rubric questions. So you need to follow the scheduled timeline by making your initial post on Wednesday and 2 reply posts by Sunday, responding to postings of others, making at least 2 reply posts to me or other students, and then trying to develop new ideas by introducing questions or helpful ideas or stimulating the conversation, and then evidence of critical thinking. Show me that you've thought this through and you're writing it out in your own words. I will not accept any AI-generated ChatGPT answers to any of these discussion questions. I use a ChatGPT checker, so I will check your discussion answer to see if you've used artificial intelligence to create it. So I want you to write these things in your own words, and I have a 0 tolerance policy for plagiarism. I'm going to come down hard on you for that one. Okay, so let's move right into our module 1. So you'll notice the whole semester is set up with a module with the week dates for that module. So every module is 1 week, and then the basic idea or topic that we get through for that week. So module 1, I give you this week and module 1 activities, reading sections of chapter 1 in the textbook that correspond to these topics, working through the interactive notebook guide, taking and submitting lesson notes, completing the weekly discussion, and then the activity or lab 1 is found in this activity packet that I'll show you. I'm going to start with the review questions on Booklet, and then there'll be a quiz at the end. So that gives you a summary of this week's kind of activities. And then after the summary, you have everything you need for the learning materials, where I include the chapter PowerPoints that you'll be listening to lectures from, which will be from me or another source, the physical science textbook link, the lesson review questions, the Unit 1 notes, activity packet, and interactive notebook. And then these are, below all of your learning materials, I give you your assessments and activities that you will be graded on. So you need to submit your notes, complete the discussion, submit the module 1 activity, and then take a quiz. So those are the assignments that you need to actually do a submission and will receive a grade for, but there will be other things you'll be doing on your own time. So let's take a look at this. So let's open up the chapter PowerPoint link. This is a link to all of the chapter PowerPoints, and this is for the whole year. So again, this first semester, we just get through chapter 6 or chapter 7, I believe. So that's if you like to look at PowerPoints on your own. The physical science textbook. So I'm going to open this link. So we use a Flexbook for physical science. You'll have to create a free account, but then you'll have access to this physical science textbook. This textbook I'm using kind of in conjunction with another resource that you'll see. So this is the physical science textbook, and it will ask you to create a free account, and then it takes you through the chapters right below. So this physical science textbook is very appropriate for 9th grade, and it takes you through, different chapters and topics that we'll be going through. It kind of I'll be jumping around our textbook as we go through and work through kind of the curriculum map, but this is the main textbook we'll be using, and I take different parts from the textbook. So for this first week's module, you'll be reading through, sections of chapter 1, specifically sections on the nature of science, inductive reasoning, the scientific method, theory, hypothesis, and experiment. Next week, we get into a little bit more of SI units and significant figures. So that's a link to your textbook that we'll be using. Let's look at these review questions on BlueKit, because I think I got a message from one of you saying the link was not working. So if you're unfamiliar with BlueKit, click here to get started, and you'll have to sign up for a free account in BlueKit. And then once you are logged in to your account in the same window screen opening, if you're logged in and then click the link, it should take you to the questions associated with that section then, if it sees that you're logged in. And if you have problems with this, let me know. And if it doesn't work, it's not the end of the world, because you guys are not getting graded on this. I just was providing it with you for an extra resource. So it's asking me to log in. And we'll see if it lets me log in here. Great. So once you are logged in, I'm going to go back now and click on the link again that there's access to. And let's see if it opened it for me. So it did. So once you're logged in and you go back and click on the link, it should take you then to the sections that we are going over. And again, for this section, this first week, we're just getting through the method of science. And there aren't a lot of questions, 6 questions, but it just takes you through this question set that helps you review some of the information. So I hope that works. Let me know if it doesn't. And that is not low priority, but if you cannot get that to work, it's okay. But I think once you log in and create an account and it notices that you're logged in, and then click on the link, it should open for you. Here are a link to the Unit 1 notes. And again, just a reminder, in this first module, we're just getting through lesson 1.1. So there's kind of 3 lessons in this first unit or first chapter. And in this, for this week, we're just getting through lesson 1.1, which is the method of science. So it'll bring up the entire notes for this whole unit, but you just need to submit the notes for the method of science unit, because you'll see the next 2 pages take you through SI units and a little bit of graphing. So these first 2 weeks, we're just going to get through unit 1. For this first week, you can download this and you can fill it in and upload it as a page, or you could print it out and then take a photo of it and upload that photo. So if we go back to the course and you're looking through your learning materials, where it says here notes submission, that's where you'll upload a picture or a file of these unit 1 notes, but specifically just for the method of science. And this is kind of like guided notes. So as you are looking and working through the textbook and working through the interactive notebook, it's kind of like giving you an opportunity to define key terms. There's vocabulary, you're listing steps of the scientific method, describing what science means, describing the differences between scientific law and scientific theory. So it's kind of just like a homework page for you to fill out on your own. That's what these notes are. and that's what you will submit under this notes submission section. So those are the notes submission that you'll complete for this week, and then for every week going forward. Let's take a look at the activity packet. Under the place where it says activity submission, this is where you'll download the Nature of Science activity packet, and you will submit, I believe, just the activity packet for the first 2 pages where it talks you through the scientific method, because section 3 will be next week. So for the activity packet for this week, you can work through just the first 2 pages. And again, you can print it out, write it in, upload a photo, or if you're able to actually fill it in on your device and then upload the file that way. That is what I mean when it says activity packet. You'll just upload and submit the first 2 pages where it says activity packet submission for sections 1 and section 2. All right, and as usual, if you guys have any questions as you're working through this, send me a message. So we did the notes, we did the activity packet, the lesson review questions on BlueKit. And before we get to the interactive notebook, which is kind of your main source of like learning material, which is what you'll work through, I want to take you through, there's the quiz section, and you'll need to complete that by Sunday. The discussion forum. So every week you will have a discussion to complete. And for this first week's discussion, you need to provide a question or a problem that you're interested in investigating. Is your question researchable, or in other words, can your problem or question be answered using the scientific method? So post your initial question or problem by Wednesday at midnight, and then respond to 2 classmates by Sunday at midnight. Do you agree with them? Do you have any questions about their research or question? So I give you an example. My initial post could be really simple. My initial post could be, what can I use the scientific method for to investigate a problem or just something I'm curious about? And my example initial post was, what type of toothpaste works best for preventing cavities? And I would then think, I chose that question because I can then set up an experiment, maybe testing different types of toothpastes. Maybe I'll test them on my kids. And then maybe my whole research will be a year long trying to test different toothpastes that work the best to prevent cavities. Some example reply posts to this question would be, well, what brands will you test? Do you think any other factors would affect those who get cavities, like their age or their diet? Will you test just kids or old people? So that's an example of our weekly discussion posts. You need an initial kind of answer due by Wednesday, and then 2 final reply posts due by Sunday. So again, every week you'll have your notes to submit, your module discussion to do, and the activity submit, and then either a quiz or a test, but you'll be working through other materials as well. Specifically, you'll be working in this interactive notebook, which is pretty fun. I'm going to pull it up here for you. It's the Nature of Science. And this interactive notebook, that might take me a second to load, is for all of Unit 1. We're just getting through, again, lesson 1.1 today, but I'm going to pull up this lesson 1.1 in this interactive notebook. And I hope it works well on your end. It basically is a Google document, kind of a slide document, and it takes you through different pages. And you can click on, the pages here, but I'm just going to pull up this first kind of interactive notebook. We're just going through the method of science this week. On the right side, there's a video you can watch and a link to another digital textbook that takes you through specific information regarding the method of science. And for here, you're able to kind of drag these boxes to kind of list the scientific method steps in correct order. So what do you want to know? Why do you want to know it? That you would be either asking a question or forming a hypothesis. So you're allowed to kind of drag these boxes to put the scientific method questions in order. And then you're able to kind of list and define the steps of these scientific methods as you work through it. So it's kind of like an interactive notebook for you to work through this information on your own. For this first week, we're just getting through the method of science section. But next week, we'll jump into the SI base units, where you'll be able to fill out and label different items. And we'll be looking at different types of graph, and you'll be able to answer questions and just fill it out. It's like a lab notebook, but that you can fill out on your own. And there's always will be links to a video, a digital textbook, and kind of some further explanations. This interactive notebook is your kind of main learning tool that you guys will have to work on your own. I will not check this. I'm giving this to you to help you learn the material and work through this information, but you don't have to submit anything from this interactive notebook part. So I think you have a good handle on what is due this week. The note submission for just section method of science, module 1 discussion, the activity submission, and then that quiz. That's everything you need to complete for this first week. Look for module 2 material to be posted and ready by Monday morning. Again, I'm developing this course, so thanks for your patience as I kind of try to make it as organized as I can, but it's going to take me a little bit to get all the information ready for you guys. Please let me know if you have any questions. I'm looking forward to working with all of you. I'll be happy to meet with you on Zoom at any other time if you want me to walk you through anything, but God's blessings, and I'm looking forward to a great semester. Take care, everybody.